Can you get her a second microphone? It's always kind of ironic for me to give Sunday service, because what I find inspiring is not it's not really maybe that inspiring for other people. Because I remember, God, this is 30 years ago. You know, I remember being in New York Park, and I hate being lied to. You know, being lied to is just, is this where she'll just stay there. And this is probably 1990. Is that 30? That's not 30 years ago. I mean, is that 30 years ago?
Almost.
Almost, it's getting there. And it was very nice. I don't remember what the Sunday service was about, but it was very nice Sunday service, very inspiring. And you know, we're always getting. This is in New York at Columbia Center, and you know, we're getting ready to go out fundraising. And at the end of the Sunday service, the carp leader, he goes, "Well, anyway, whatever, you know, we're probably all going to hell anyway, so you know, just go out and fundraise." I thought, yeah, I'm going to hell anyways. And that day, I went out and I sold. You can't even imagine. I killed it, and I found that really inspiring. That the leader, and there's probably 40 kids there. He goes, whatever this, what are you going to do? We're probably going to hell. Yes, I thought that was. That's an honest thing to say, I thought. That's not what you want to hear. I mean, who wants to hear that? That's I don't know if I'll get to it, but part of what it is, truth is what you want to hear. Something that tickles my ears or makes me feel good, or is that really truth? I don't know. What inspired me is cold, hard reality, where you know what, it might not be really that easy, So, thus, my life is full of things that may not, even back then, people used to say, I was leading fundraising teams, or I really don't feel that much God from you. I get it. That's why, Father's words are, also maybe not easy, and they're not comforting, maybe. Is that what we want? Is that what I want? Really? To be comforted, or to be told, you're fine. You're fine. You stand in your own truth. Really? That's like a big catchphrase now. Like somebody gets up in some, award ceremony, stand in your own truth and just be who you are. Really? That's what, that's really where is that what the Bible's taught? Is that what Father, you're okay, I'm okay, everyone's okay? Really? So this is inspiring. This is unbelievable stuff. And I had a train of thought that I thought would be good, but I went to trueparents.org, and I thought I was just going to the homepage, and it popped up this. I have no idea where this is from. I don't know what speeches this is. I think this is from some book called The Way of the Student, I believe. And I think it was published in the 90s. And I don't, but I literally went to the homepage, and boom, this thing popped up, and that says it a lot better than what I thought I was going to say. So, do we have that laser pointer? Is that on? Cool. Is it
really work?
Press that. You can,
Oh,
and then
it's-
if you press this, it'll go to the next
Oh,
slide.
that's right.
So, yeah, Chinny. Hi.
Knowing the existence of God. If we look at Reverend Moon's global ideology, what is the primary point? It is the principle which should enable the world's religions to unite. How can it unite religions? By teaching about God more clearly than others. If we do this as a religion of experience, this can be achieved. It is not impossible to unite religions.
Okay. Is that shocking? That is unbelievably shocking. I guess if you're going to make the goal really big. Like uniting all religions. And the significant point here is what? How to unite religions? By teaching about God more clearly than others. That's it. You know, what do we know God? Fathers taught. Whenever fathers spoke, right? God. It's all about God. It's only about God. Only 100% of the time, only about God. You know, and it's. If we do this as a religion experience, this can be achieved. It's not impossible to unite religions. One point I really wanted to discuss was, well, what? You know, there's nobody here. It's just us, right? And you know, why is that? And you know, what are we doing wrong? Or is this not the truth? You know, no. People are responding to. You know, there's mega churches. Mega churches, they have the truth. You know, it looks good, it sounds good, it makes me, I don't know, but even Father, was he asking people to come here? I don't know, but I know, who's the guy with the white hair, the evangelical, the Pentecostal? Jesse Edwards, Reverend Jesse Edwards, Bishop Jesse Edwards, Bishop. He was here a couple years ago. I know he was here before that, and you know, powerful speaker, you know, incredible, and he's always at these events, right? And he stayed at my house, and we were discussing stuff, and he said, you know what, Father never asked me to join this church, and you know, my first reaction was, oh, that's really cool, you know, that he didn't, Father, who basically, I don't know, witnessed him directly or kind of was taking care of this family. He had taken care of this guy individually, and Father never said, oh, why don't you, you know, sign the paper and, you know, become a member. He said, Father never once said that. When he first told me, I thought that was really cool. Like, yeah, like we're not really pushing people to join. You know, we're making it easy. But I think I was missing the point. And recently, I've been really not upset, but confused. Why Father never said that? You know, why didn't Father say, join me, follow me? That's what Jesus said. John, a couple weeks ago in his Sunday service, had the quote. And I'm such an idiot. I really don't remember exactly what it is. I'm such a Gentile. The point was, he said, I am the way, the truth, the life. The only way to the Father is through me. Boom! You want to talk about intolerant? that from our culture's perspective, that's incredibly intolerant, you know. But yet it gives people an identity, right? Something to rally around, something to join. I'm part of this. I love Jesus. I love God. And to follow. This is the only way. I actually believe that. I believe it, yeah. It probably is the only way. Until, recently. So why didn't Father ever say something like that? I want to join something, right? I want to be a part. My identity is all wrapped up in this and being here. Father did say it actually. But by what? But through it. You have to change your blood lineage. It's all your blood lineage, the blessing. So that is the only thing that is stopping us from becoming one with God and really knowing God, right? The fall was not only tragic, there's no words for it. It changed our blood lineage. And later in the speech, I'm not going to go that deeply into it, but Father explained, if it wasn't for the fall, you don't have to believe in God. You know God, you feel God. Even Father later in the speech, when Adam and Eve, they were communicating directly with God. They knew God's thoughts. They knew God's desire for them. So actually, we are also, not believing that, but the whole billions of people have to, and then everybody has to change their blood lineage. Is it really that simple? Maybe it is that simple. Yeah. It seems like as providence goes forward, coming to God, not that it's becoming easier, but there's less, in Leviticus, and it's all laws, a lot of laws. There were a lot of things you had to qualify. You had food and dietary. Jesus comes along and completely smashes that. The big controversy of the early Christian church was circumcision. That really ripped that church apart in the beginning. And in Galatians, I think, Paul speaks to it directly. People are believing, no, if you want to become, if you want to be a follower of Jesus, well, it's only for Jews, and of course, you have to get circumcised. Does somebody want that job? Some 30-year-old dude who wants to become a Christian? Mama, you want that job to circumcise? No, it's terrible. No, and Paul's the way he framed the solution or to heal this church was, you may. Follow your conscience. You may do that. You may do that. If you believe that will, okay, you may do it. Not must. There's not a lot of musts. and so that if that forces, and then also certain foods that were meant for sacrifice in the Jewish culture. Oh, you can't even touch this. It's defiled. And Paul said, no. Well, banana's a banana. It's really, it was for an altar. Okay, you can still eat. He said, you may. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to eat it, you can eat it. It's very, follow your conscience, which is exactly, what Father said. Also, really, your conscience. But my point, is it really that easy? Change your blood lineage? Like when we go out, when we've gone out, Shane and I, to give the blessing, it's really easy. For me, it's not that easy to initially walk up to people and, hey, it's not easy. Sharon's really good at that. Hey, oh yeah. Then I'm kind of easy to kind of join in and, hey, and make people laugh. But some of the people that have, going back to, is it really that easy? This is not a busy area around these music, but it's a public area. And how many times in our culture or our society do people really become objects to God? Who are really receptive to God? It's poquito. There's not a lot of God and not a lot of people standing, being willing to be, objects to God. I don't think that happens a lot. Even in my life, If somebody comes up to me on the sidewalk and, the hell is this from girl. No, I don't want to. You know, but some people are actually stopping and drinking juice out of a thing and with cups. Is it really that easy? You know, if I think, if you know, watching it from, 10 feet away, or it's like, son of a, look at that. It's actually a miracle. That people will stop, they will listen, marriage, yes. Family, yes. Done, yes. Sign up. Drink, face each other, okay, yeah. I like the kids are, and kind of confess, and I love you, without you, and then they drink, and then it's actually, I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. But there's actually people who would do that. And is it really that easy? Yes. Yeah. And from God's point of view, is their lineage not new? They're spread. Yeah. I think it really is. We said, okay. We volunteered to go to Korea and do this and reform the course and really, tackle it head on. We volunteered for that, and we come to church. Is God looking at us any differently than now that family did that in public, on the street? Is God looking at those people any differently? I don't know. I can't speak for God. I know I'd like to speak for God because it's really, it makes me feel good. But I don't know. But according to Father, and I'm not using fathers, but according to Father, it's all about lineage. They take the holy line. They did that. Their lineages changed. And then afterwards, I said, Ching, you should we invite these people to church? She goes, oh, God. You didn't say, oh, God, but you said no, I don't. Yeah, all right, forget that then. I didn't clear this before.
He said, she said.
But regardless, I think God then, yeah, I think He sees this family differently. He can now relate to this family differently. And He now can love this family differently. And everything, it is completely different. We are so involved in practical stuff and, day-to-days. And our mentality of the supernatural is gone, and we really don't deal. Supernaturally, they are cleansed. I don't know what to say other than that. But that's what I really struggled about, right? Is, well, Father never asked him to join, but it's not about join, it's about changing our lineage and going through marriage and becoming a completely different person. All right, sorry, Chief. Keep going. What is the second point?
What is the second point? It is the principle of ideology. People run about in confusion, seeking a clear ideology on which to base their direction in life. What is the ideology? It is the answers to the questions of life, the questions of the individual. What is a human being? A human being is a manifestation of result, not the ultimate cause. No one insists that human beings are the first cause. Even we humans do not know our cause, but we know that we are the result of some existence because we are born. When we consider the question of what a human being is, we should know there is surely a being who exists as the first cause and who made human beings to be born as the result. Therefore, we should say clearly that the answer is God. It is possible to set our direction only in that way. How should we establish an ideology for our life? How should our family live? How about society, the nation, and the world? And how will the world be in the final days? That is not only about the direction I am going. These days, what is the way to seek out a philosophy? Though philosophy investigates all, intellectuals who define God through theory have been branded as failures. They could not discover God. The world could not be won because religions leaders of the Middle Ages could not teach about the true God. And from that time, the world fell into humanism. Humanism says there is no God, that the concept of God is a falsehood. Why? Because there was no clear teaching about God. It is impossible to know God without clear experience of Him. It is impossible to know God by theory alone. It is necessary to have experiences through inspiration. However, religion's leaders have been unable to teach about God in that way. What is religion? Philosophy tried to find God, but failed to do so. There was global conflict between democracy and communism, but that has ended. Communism has failed. Why? Because they could not find God. Then, what is religion? Religion does not need to define God. It should seek to find and live with God. Sometimes God becomes a theory of ideal life, a theory with which to search for happiness in a life with God. True religion is therefore living with God.
There's so many different directions you can go with that to understand God. Father, in the beginning of that section that she just wrote, you want to understand man. Kids, they want to go to college. I want to study psychology because I want to understand myself. I want to understand people. I want to understand humans. I want to understand my relationship to the world. I want to. Well, how is my family supposed to? Do you study? No. To understand humans, Father, you have to study God. that is the way to understand humans, is to understand, study God, and then what? And then really experience. And God, Father, this is so difficult. Do you know? In order to unite, unite religions, kind of, I guess, witness to people. God is an experience. Of course, it's a theory. And there are philosophies, and we have our God-centered theology, and that is truth. But ultimately, people feel stuff, So how do we find God? Or how do we are with them, Father's tagging us with a responsibility to experience God every day and be able to tell people about it, and tell people how to experience God. That's... people think experiencing God is done by yourself or done as a spiritual experience. It is not. Even Mamu last week talked about the guy who's in the flood, and he goes, prays to God, and gets up on his roof, and And God said, you know, I will save you. And then one guy comes by, two, and then three guys. No, you don't have to save me. God told me. And then God said, and then the guy dies because he wasn't rescued. And then God says, well, you dumbass, you know, I sent you 3 people. You know, right? So how do you experience God? Well, it's really through people, right? And what is our ultimate theology? Our ultimate theology is blessed means through our marriage. That's how we experience God. And through our family. To communicate God, we have to be able to communicate the joy of marriage. What? Okay. That, you know, my experience is probably one of the most joyful experiences I've had that I can, you know, talk about publicly this is probably 9 years ago. She just made a face at me. We were buying a new car, and of course it's about me, you know, because I want a cool car, you know. And we found this Nissan Xterra 4-wheel drive with like a sand-colored, cool color. And I think we went there on like a Saturday or a Friday, so I spent like Sunday like online. I'm going to modify this thing. I'm going to modify the engine, the suspension, wheels. And I'm thinking, God, this is going to be awesome. And this is after we probably spent a couple weeks looking for cars. You know, we went to go see the Toyota Siennas, these awful, ugly vans, and they all smell, and they're really, because families all have them, right? I mean, so they're all a mess. And then we found, kind of our last day, we found this Nissan Xterra. This is going to be cool. I'm going to get the truck I want, you know. And so I spent this Saturday or Sunday, you know, looking at all this stuff online, all the stuff I'm going to buy for it, and this is going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And Shamie, Monday morning, we are literally out the door, walking to our car, and she says, would you mind going one more place to look at one more car? And I'm thinking, it ain't going to be as good as that Xterra. This Xterra, sure, let's go. And so we go, and it's a Nissan, or that's the Toyota Sienna, the egg-shaped van, and we find it, and she loves it, and looking inside, oh, that's really clean, oh God, it doesn't smell either, and she is so inspired, and I think they just dropped the price too, and you know, these 9 years ago, these are hot tickets, you know, so they usually sell them at a premium price, but they just dropped the price like $1,000 at like the day or something before, right? And she's just, and so we take the test ride, and I'm in the passenger. I think I was in the passenger. And she's driving. Isn't this great? This is all good. It's clean and nothing's broken. It's a Christian family that had it before because there was the Jesus fish on the back, so you know there wasn't nothing funny going on this time. So it was nice and clean, and it was perfect, and I'm just kind of, yeah, no, it's great. No, this is exactly what we wanted. It's really good. And so, you know, then and I said, you know, I guess, yeah, no, the Nissan Xterra, no, I don't want that anymore. and so of course we buy it, and so we take it home, and then the boys are, I mean, the boys are young still, right? They're elementary school. And this is when silly bands, remember silly bands, those stupid bands, the silly bands, the rubber things and the shape of animals and stuff, and they would trade them. And anyway, so we go home, I come home from work, it's kind of late at night, and well, let's go to, you know, let's go to Walgreens. So we take the used new van to, you know, family van, because I'm a family man, of course, you know, now, some cool truck, no. So we take it after, you know, it's late, you know, we go to Walgreens and we buy some silly bands, and the boys, you know, the Kids Bop is in the CD player, there's Kids Bop playing, we're all singing, and da-da-da. And you know what? It was probably one of my top 10 nights in my life, actually, you know. Because why? Well, because You know, I gave up being cool. You know, I gave up being that dude, and I'm gonna buy the van because you know what? Jamie wants the van. It's more practical, and on the way to Walgreens, and we got some silly bands, and maybe got something else on the way back to the house. You know, just cranking the jams. The kids bop up and just singing like some silly Taylor Swift, like, and it's totally joy. I mean, just total unmitigated joy. And this is actually, this was God's will, right? So God's will, to experience as joy, that's one side of God, right? Is joy. It's fun to talk about. And how did that happen? You know, why did it happen? Well, it happened, you know, because she is better than I am, you know, of course. And she was looking at the whole picture, the big picture. It has a third seat, and you know, and then, you know, if I was a jerk, no. We chose that. Let's go. Let's just get it. I could have been a jerk, you know, and I'm good at that too, being a jerk. No. Let's not. We found it. Let's go, and we're gonna get that. And you know what? She would have felt, but something's conflict, something, and I would have been great and inspired all by myself, and it wouldn't have been cool or fun or joyful at all because it would have been about me. Instead, I made I gave up. Not that I gave up, but I just kind of, you know, living for my family and making my wife happy. That's where God is, and this is how I think Father is what Father's charging us with, and that's not an easy charge or a mission to give, right? That, you know, to experience God and then be able to communicate God about experiences. That's not easy, you know, but that I think is it. There's a lot more. There was a few more things to read and a few more things I wanted to say, but it's okay. It's okay. Jamie, that's fine. Should I finish? Do you want to finish reading? No, it's okay. Maybe we just finish the speech. Go ahead. You can finish reading. From now, what is the question here?
Now, what is the question here? Without understanding God, it is impossible to solve the problem of ideology. Solving the problem of communism, which insists on materialism, is also impossible without knowing God. We should destroy communism, which says there is no God, and say with conviction God exists 120% more strongly. Without knowing God, things have no value. Don't you agree? Even though an ideology might reveal a right idea to the world, if it does not stand in the position of object to God, it will be swept away by changing circumstances. This would happen because it is not an absolute ideology.
Yeah, Father's basically saying, you know, you can have any ideology, but if it's not true or if it's not really connected to God, it's going to disappear, and it's not a real ideology. And parents, that our ideology is true. Our explanation of God, our understanding of God is, we can develop like a 360-degree understanding of God. We have that potential to do that, to communicate that. But parents suffered, and Father died and hung out in prison for an ideology. No, he didn't die for an ideology. Well, what did parents suffer for? For a theology of God? To persuade people to come to church? No. It's much more, they suffered for people. You know, listen, I love to argue about ideology. That's my jam. Let's do that. You know, let's battle ideology. That's fun for me. But parents and Jesus, they died. They suffered for an ideology to fight about. No, they died for people. You know, they died for individuals, for people. Not. That's why we don't fight. That's why we don't force coercion, because they died for people. And my parents were here last week. Just one small short story. It's almost 11 o'clock. And the story I explained was 9 years ago. You know, that's a long time ago. But you know how, like recently, how have I experienced God? And you know what true love is? True love is giving up your week vacation to spend with your parents. That is true love. Oh my God. My parents were here last week, and I spent my vacation basically with my parents. You know, because usually when they come, you know, I'm working, or you know, we're working, we're going to school. You know, we spend time together. But you know, I go to work, and they're playing with the kids, but I was on vacation. I had other things I'd like to do. You know, I purposely would never tell my mom when I'm on vacation, because I don't come. You know? But that's not like a real great thing to do. You know. So you know, this time, you know, yes, come. You know, well, and I had no idea they were basically coming down to see Jackson play football, and Serena's playing soccer, and Sam would be playing something, but they came down to do that. And other than that, they were staying basically for a week, and we really had no plans. But like the day before they came, I thought, you know what, we'll go to Great Wolf Lodge, the indoor water park, and then we went to Grandfather Mountain. And Jamie didn't go because Jackson has school, so it was really just me, Sam, and Serena. As a kid, I was broken. I was not a healthy guy at all, because my parents divorced, and my mom with her, you know, and they married my stepdad when I was like 10, you know, so, and it really wasn't, divorce is horrible. It's terrible. And so I grew up with my stepfather, my mom, and it was not fun at all. It was very, very stressful. And to spend time with both of them, I moved out of the house when I was 18, you know, so it's a long time ago. It's a long time ago, and they're different people, I'm different, but yet I still really don't feel that comfortable with them, you know, to spend time with them, and like I really want to love them. I really don't have that desire, you know, and but you know, okay, we'll spend a lot of time together, and it's going to be great. And you know what? It was great. It was great. It's very nice. And you know what? And of course I put my vacation schedule up on the refrigerator, and as I'm driving them to the airport, she goes, well, you know, your next vacation is in December. If you want to come up to Michigan, you know, I'll pay for your flight. Yeah, Mom. Yeah, that's true love. It's like, you know, that, and you know, their family, my sister, God bless her, passed away many years ago, and my stepfather's daughter, her life is a mess. Everybody's is a freaking mess. I mean, it's not. They tell me stuff, and it's not joyful to hear. It's not fun to hear, and I'm thinking, good God. And my only desire is, Serena is a joy to be with. She, you know, so they love being with her, and so that's how I wanted to love them. Is that, you know what? She's really normal, or my family's really normal. The kids are really, you know what? please enjoy them for the week and do stuff with them. It's really wonderful, you know. So that I'm trying to. This relates somehow to this.
Yes.
Right. So I spend all this time with my parents, and we always pray before meals, but I don't pray meals with them because I know that they, my mom had a real tough time with me joining the church, so I don't pray with them. I don't want to put any pressure on, make them nervous or anything. So I'm probably overly sensitive about that. But if they ask, I hope they ask. Like the rest of the family is a mess. We're really normal. And so I don't want to say anything to them about God or parents or blessing. You know what? I hope they ask me eventually. I hope they ask or ask something. And then I really... explain to them about our life, about why it is like this, how wonderful it is. I hope they ask. If they don't, it's fine. Because, they have the relationship with human faith. It's fine. Because parents didn't die for an ideology, for a theology, or they didn't die for a church, for crying out loud. They died for people. So our families are just, they're people. So we serve them, and then we take our vacation day, our vacation week to spend with them, I guess. So that's it. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, you're still really a mystery. Our hearts can be really narrow and closed and cold and not concerned about you. But through the blessing, through the changing of our lineage, I think you want to reach us. You want to speak to us. You want to be with us. I pray that we can be as desperate to reach out to you and to think of you and to touch you and to be with you and to love you, Heavenly Father. I pray this week that we can all have experiences with you, that we can then communicate and to really embody and have just our daily lives be the testimony to who and what you are. Father, we thank True Parents, and we thank you for your sacrifice and all your giving. And I offer this prayer in True Parents' name, Aju.